The following program contains scenes from a Hollywood movie Amadeus, owned by Orion Pictures, which is not owned by this YouTube channel, Parkim Music. This series, Parkim Lectures, is a music education and comedy series where it includes lectures of any kinds of topic relating to classical music. This program will include spoilers and some non-child-friendly scenes, so you have been warned. Otherwise, please enjoy the video, and as always, take care. Whoa, okay. My name is Joshua Wong Parkim and welcome to Parkim Lectures, where today's episode is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be talking about a movie where I'm going to be basing it off of a classical musician's point of view and a movie lover. So please enjoy. My name is Joshua Parkim and welcome to Lectures. So in today's lecture, I decided to do something a bit of a movie review style, but in a classical musician's point of view and a big movie lover, but also the originality of the story, so I can compare between the movie and real life. And today's lecture is going to be about Amadeus. So who is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart? Well, obviously it's the guy who wrote this, and this, and this. And you get the general idea. And Mozart's full name is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Actually, one second there. Oh yeah, his name is Johannes Christostomos Wolfgangus Mozart. I mean, obviously you can see Wolfgang came from Wolfgangus and Mozart came from Mozart, but then where did Amadeus come from in that name? Turns out it actually came from Theophilus. Turns out the meaning of the word Theophilus is lover of God. And in Latin, ama came from the word amare, which means love. And deus is a Latin word for God. So basically, Amadeus means lover of God, the same meaning as Theophilus. This film was directed by Milos Forman, and basically Forman has directed a lot of movies that were actually been Academy Award winning movies.
The winner is Milos Forman.
Milos Forman for Amadeus.
The winner is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Like as I showed you, The One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest actually won the Best Picture award for this film. Amadeus also won for the Best Picture at the Academy Award.
And the winner for this is Amadeus.
Two films directed by Milos Forman. Two films won the Best Picture at the Academy Awards. And so I have to basically tell you that Forman is actually a very, very, very damn important film director. But of course, many of his movies were actually based off like books, and most of them were actually based off of real life people. Like as I said, Amadeus is based off of a composer, Mozart. Man on the Moon is actually based off of a cringe comedian named Andy Kaufman, which is actually acted by a really funny comedian, Jim Carrey. Yeah. And also People vs. Larry Flint. Forman is very familiar with making movies that are based off of real life. And especially when you look at the films like Man on the Moon, you can see that they try to make it similar as possible. So I kind of believe that Forman was trying to be historically accurate into one of these movies. And so I'm having high expectation towards Amadeus. But the main character of this movie is not only Mozart actually. Most of all, there's two main characters, and predominantly people consider this person to be the main character, who is not Mozart. It's Antonio Salieri, who is acted by F. Murray Abrams. And Mozart is acted by Tom Hulce. You don't know who Tom Hulce is. He's the guy who acted as Quasimodo from the Disney Hunchback of Notre Dame. And also Abrams acted in the Grand Budapest Hotel as Mr. Mustafa. Both actors, they got nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role, and the winner was F. Murray Abrams.
F. Murray Abraham. In the title role of the immortal musical prodigy Amadeus, Tom Hulce. The winner is F. Murray Abraham.
93% certified fresh on the Rotten Tomatoes, and 8.3 out of 10 at Internet Movie Database. And yes, you guessed it, it is on the 83rd rated movie on a 250 movie list. So now the question is, if this film has such a high rating on these websites, and if it considers to be one of the greatest films of all time and won 8 Academy Awards, how great is this film and how historically accurate is this film? Well, let's look at the general plot first. The movie begins with Antonio Salieri, an old Antonio Salieri, trying to kill himself while confessing that he had murdered Mozart. So he is sent off to the asylum. Therefore, a young priest approaches to him to talk about his murder of Mozart. And so Salieri starts talking about his story and of how and why did he murder Mozart. So he starts off when he was a child, where he prayed to God that he wants to be known as one of the greatest composers. And as a return, he is going to give God his chastity.
Lord, make me a great composer. Let me celebrate your glory through music. In return, I will give you my chastity.
Then later we cut into the story where Salieri goes to the reception in honor of Mozart's patron, and you see Mozart for the very, very first time. You need to shut the up! Wow. Just wow. Like, Mozart is extremely shockingly immature than our expectation. Because a person who writes music like this looks like that. Mozart was a musical genius and a child prodigy. First of all, he wrote his first composition when he was 4 years old. He wrote a symphony when he was 8 years old, and he wrote his first opera when he was 12 years old. And the thing is, he writes one piece in a very short period of time. However, the piece is so good.
Is it not good?
It is miraculous.
But that is why there were a lot of composers who were actually jealous of Mozart. And in this story, you'll get to see that Salieri was extremely jealous of Mozart. So yeah, things get serious at this point. Salieri does literally everything to actually torture Mozart. So basically, Salieri really wanted Mozart to die, that even he even pays Mozart to write a requiem. So the people who don't know what a requiem is, it is a music composed for ceremonies of dead people. It's actually used in like Roman Catholics when they are honoring a dead person. Mozart just writes a requiem without knowing who is this for. But this film has so many great scenes, like the opera scenes. However, during the performance of Magic Flute, Mozart collapses because he's so freaking exhausted. So Salieri takes Mozart back home and he decides to stay with it. And so basically Mozart continues writing the Requiem.
Strings in unison, ostinato on A, like this. Next measures rising.
However, the Requiem is uncompleted, and from his exhaustion, Mozart dies.
Wolfie? Wolfie? Wolfie!
And so at this point, I know what you guys are thinking. Damn, that's a messed up situation. Did that really happen? So that's why I did a little bit more research. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is where things are gonna get very steamy. A what? Why am I getting a voice crack every? So let's go to the beginning. Did Salieri really promise to God and took vow of chastity? Did Salieri hate Mozart? Did Salieri ever try to kill himself? Yes, surprisingly, he actually tried to kill himself. But did Salieri actually kill Mozart? Okay, can you stop that? Why did Salieri try to kill himself in real life? Well, basically, he had a bit of a mental issue. That's why he actually went to the asylum. And it was nothing to do with the fact that he killed Mozart. Salieri is actually a very, very famous composer. Back in that time, Mozart wasn't that famous as much as he's famous in this generation. And how do I prove that Salieri was famous? First of all, he was a teacher of many, many, many famous students. For example, Joseph Haydn, Ludwig van Beethoven, Franz Liszt, and so a person like that would not be famous? And so why would Salieri ever be jealous of Mozart in the first place? And why would Salieri vow for chastity to God if he has married and have kids? So if that's the case, Salieri did not kill Mozart. Also, there's some more things that this film has overly exaggerated. But yes, in real life, Mozart was immature. He was actually very immature that he wrote a composition named Lick My Ass. So some part of the story was true, some part of the film was fiction. And no, Salieri did not commission Mozart to compose a requiem. However, he was commissioned by a guy named, let me just read this straight, Count Franz von Walsegg-Stuppach. Sorry for my bad pronunciation. And also, the requiem was unfinished. And later on, it was completed by his student, Franz Xaver Meyer. And Salieri was not even involved in that situation. So you might be thinking, what the shit? This is the part where it kind of pisses me off. Like, why would you bring an innocent person and make that person into a killer who he didn't even commit in the first place? So I was like, Director Foreman, did you seriously have to make this movie so overly exaggerated in that kind of a way? First of all, this film was not even written by Foreman. It was written by Peter Schaffer, who was actually the original writer of the play. This was originally a play, not a movie, a play. And the screenplay was also written by the same person of the playwright. And secondly, this story was actually based off of an opera composed by a Russian 5 composer, Rimsky-Korsakov, based on a libretto Alexander Pushkin's. So, how did Mozart die? Well, it says here that his death was likely, let me emphasize the word, likely, caused by kidney failure and a recurrence of the rheumatic fever he had battled on and off throughout his life. Therefore, his death is actually unknown. And even Mozart mentions, I feel definitely I will not last much longer. I am sure I have been poisoned. Because of this quote, people had multiple theories about some random ass people killing Mozart. So the story of Salieri killing Mozart was one of those conspiracy theories. And that rumors turned into a movie, which was that 1984 film Amadeus. So it ain't fully the screenwriter's fault. All I can say is, as a work of art, this is a fantastic movie. Well, Director Foreman and Schaefer passed away, and I'm kinda curious what's the conversation between them and Salieri is gonna be. Just imagine, what would Salieri say when he sees Foreman or Schaefer face to face?
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you make me a murderer? I am going to kill you!
Wait, can he kill people in heaven? Do you agree with my lecture? If you disagree or if you have any other topics that you want me to talk about, leave a comment down below and I will see you in the next lecture. My name is Joshua Parkin, and as always, take care.